things are starting to open up, it's traffic once again. There's more people already in the roads, and people have been starting to come back to the office, which if you look at it from a team building standpoint, it allows more people to build relationships, see each other every day, which is also good. We're now actually seeing the effects of people going to work, children going back to school, that it started to become traffic. And people have been seeing that work from home actually works. And if you're following the model of how things are in other countries, people have been going out of offices. Hey guys, so in this video, I want to talk about the property situation here in the Philippines, but not just for individual property buyers, but also for people who are investing in property stocks, or for those who are investing also into REITs. Since COVID happened, since we had the lockdown, that is dramatically shifting how properties would be in the Philippines, but not just in the Philippines, but we have been seeing it globally also as a main narrative. That if you notice it, what COVID did is it showed us that remote work actually works, that work from home actually works, and that right now things are starting to open up. It's traffic once again. There's more people already in the roads, and people have been starting to come back to the office, which if you look at it from a team building standpoint, it allows more people to build relationships, see each other every day, which is also good. We're now actually seeing the effects of people going to work, children going back to school, that it started to become traffic. And people have been seeing that work from home actually works. And if you're following the model of how things are in other countries, people have been going out of offices. A lot of companies have been allowing remote work to actually progress. And we have been seeing it also as a trend that in other countries, people have been going out of offices. People have been living in different parts of the country or different parts of the world, because there are some jobs that you don't actually need to be at work. You don't actually need to be in a physical office. You don't have to commute. You don't have to travel. You don't have to spend on gas. And there are a lot of things that you can actually save on if you're working from home. I'm under the impression that office spaces won't go back to the way it used to be, because I've seen certain companies that have reduced their rent in offices and have given some of their employees partial work from home status, meaning that they just report to work once, twice, 3 times a week, and it's not anymore feasible for them to go into the office fully, because even their company has reduced the size of the office, which in my opinion makes it very, very convenient in a way for people, because they get to be more efficient in doing their job. Since they still have to report to work at certain portions of the week or of the month, there's still a sense of camaraderie because they get to see people in the team as well. Now, how does that impact property prices? How does that impact REITs? And how does that impact property stocks? I'm under the opinion that houses, larger houses, that there would be a larger demand for it in the next few years, as people would be still getting and wanting to have larger houses because they will be working from home. People, aside from them having larger houses, they would also want to have a space where they could just do a lot of recreational activities. They could have some time with their family, but also work. So you would see people that normally just had 2 rooms or 3 rooms, maybe want to get an extra room, which will be their home office where they could actually work. Now, when people are actually saying that, it's not good to work at home because there's a lot of distractions out there, that's why it places a larger preference of people getting larger spaces, and it doesn't have to be at the center of the city. Now, how does that impact property developments? How does that impact also property stocks that have a lot of developments, or at least mixed use, that they build residential, that they also build offices, that they build commercial spaces, etc. I think they'll be more conservative in their approach. And you have to also factor this in. Pogo is gone. It's not 2019 Pogo, it's not 2018 Pogo where you see large renters taking up Pogo space. We're not there anymore. It's not the narrative anymore. It's not what's spurring up rentals also here in the Philippines. Please do remember, what caused prices to move up for certain condos here was pretty much because a lot of those Pogos were taking up office spaces, and they also needed residential space to be able to house their employees. That's not the case anymore right now. No more POGOs. You have certain people, certain offices not requiring people to report on a daily basis. That will cause, in my opinion, property developers to be more cautious in building. They will still book revenues, but they won't be as aggressive. They would not want to have excessive supply, because having excessive supply won't be good for the price. So, meaning if they don't build more, they still get to maintain certain price points. They still, with the level of business coming in with certain amount of demand, they still get to maintain, and you won't see large price drops, which I think is very, very good, and which I think is very interesting also. Now, that being said, what does that mean for people who want to buy properties? I think your focus should be also is you have to look for properties where the demand is. You have to look for properties that it may not be the same narrative that people would want to live in the center. There's nothing wrong living in the center, because that's where all the action is. That's where you get to see a lot of the things that you don't see when you go at the outskirts. That's where a lot of efficiency is. People would go to major cities because that's where the jobs are. That's where they could earn money. However, people can make money while staying where they are, then there's a compelling reason for them to travel and commute and get stuck in traffic. And I think that will be a prevailing narrative, that work from home will work. Work from home will be one of the biggest disruptions that we will see in the property market. And that's why there isn't much aggressive building. The aggressive building that we saw in 2019, 2020, prior to the pandemic, we may not see that for quite some time, because you will see property development companies be very, very conservative on how they build. They will be more strategic on how they will build. However, those that are building far away from the center, those that are building houses also, I think they'll benefit. Those who are building things that are logistics related, warehouse related, I think those are things that will have a lot of merit also, not just for the short term, but I think those will be relevant for the mid and long term as well. For those who are looking at it also from a REIT perspective, one of the biggest advantages of REITs is that a lot of the rentals that they have are locked in for a long period of time, and they have larger occupancy rates still. So what's nice about REITs also is that if you're not satisfied with the dividend yield that you're getting, it's easy to sell. It's easy to get away from it. Unlike buying a physical property where once you buy it, it will take a longer time for you to be able to get out, for you to be able to sell, or for you to be able to liquidate it. If you're buying REITs, you're not satisfied with the dividends, you can actually sell and transfer it to another, maybe to another REIT or to another stock. But if you're looking at it, if you look at it this way, we have C REIT, which is not highly connected to offices. If you look at A REIT, you have to look at the quality of the tenants. If the tenants are still there, even if there's a glut, I think that's one of the advantages of REITs, is that their tenants are not just there to stay, but they're big companies that have invested a lot into just staying in that particular office. And that's why the rent becomes predictable. It's not just that they have quality tenants, but the rent is also there, that their lease is there for a longer period of time. That's why they could have a sense that the rent will be predictable, but it's not just the rent that's predictable, but the ability to get dividends from it is what's going to make it very, 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 very interesting for the long term. So what am I saying in all of this? The property market will still be very good. However, you have to shift your strategy also on the ones that will be relevant. We're now seeing a shift that it's not just about buying something in the business districts, because there's a lot of opportunities now for people to still make money even if they work from home. Because of that, also, businesses and companies are actually seeing that they're saving a lot of money from rent and all of the intangibles of people not reporting to the office if people work from home. And that will be a prevailing theme as well, which will cause property development companies to have a steadier and a more conservative approach into this. So that's how you look at also the property development companies. Look at their vacancies, look at their projects, look at also how much sales they're actually booking on a quarter per quarter basis, if it's actually starting to increase. When it starts to increase, look at how they're pivoting. Is it something that's just purely business related, or is it a mix on residential and commercial also? And if it's something that's outside the main centers of the city, it's not just the BGCs anymore. And for REITs, as long as their tenants locked in for a very long period of time, and as long as their vacancy rates are very good, if you're still happy with the dividend yield, I think REITs should be still okay. I hope you guys got a lot from this. I hope that this was something that was insightful, and I hope that this gave you enough insight also. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them down below. And if you stayed up until the end, appreciate it if you press the like button, subscribe, and also share this video to see if there are more people that will benefit from this as well. And also, if you want to learn more about technical fundamental analysis, I have seminars below that you may want to join, and I've written 5 books about the stock market. So that's it for now. This is Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you. Trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, and God bless you all.